president who honors them, stands tall and stands true, fights for our veterans like real leaders used to do. He signed the orders, kept the promises made, brought respect back to the flag and the price that was paid. No more apologies for being strong, no more hanging our heads. We're bringing back American pride from sea to shining sea again. So let the bugle play taps real slow across these hallowed hills. Let the tears fall for the fallen, let the silence give us chills. They didn't die for nothing, they died so we could be the last best hope on earth, land of the brave and home of the free. To every Gold Star family,
right, guys, I don't know what to do. I'm not even sure if I'm live. I have no idea. I see everybody bitching in the chat room about my computer. Guys, if you guys can do better, start your own channel. I don't know what else to tell you, all right? This is so fucking confusing, and it's such a pain in the ass, and nothing cooperates with me. I had two different plugins fighting each other inside OBS. I had to finally uninstall completely Streamlabs. And so, yeah, I'm here. And so I know you guys get frustrated, but you're not near as frustrated as I am. You know, so just keep that in mind. I mean, people saying it don't look good when your shit don't work and all that. Well, you know, okay, I get that. Trust me, I work at a radio station for 15 years. And yeah, when your shit doesn't work, you look like a complete piece of shit. Why do you think I get so mad? I get so mad. So, yeah, when your shit doesn't work. No audio. That's just great. Check, check. No audio. That's just great. I'm getting an audio return on that channel. Yeah, this whole thing is a mess. I mean, it's broadcasting. I don't even know what I'm broadcasting. I've no. It won't even tell me what I'm broadcasting. This new stupid OBS update. You no longer hear what you're broadcasting. You hear something else, and that's what really pisses me off. Is it's like, how am I supposed to know what I'm listening to? It's two different buttons now. So every time I turn a feed on or off for you to listen to, I have two buttons I have to press now instead of one. All right, guys, I try my best. I don't know what else to tell you. It's been a rough couple of days for me. I had an employee meeting yesterday, an employee meeting today, and I have an employee meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the morning. I got to go to my work at 11 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to be there all the way through until 7:30 at night, and then I've got to come home and do a show. So, yeah, it sucks. It's just a lot going on this week. I'm trying to get things set up so that this weekend I can get ready to get out of town, because I'm going to be going to the Huntsville Ham Fest, as you guys know. I'm going to the Huntsville Ham Fest. I'm only going to have 3 days. I can't take any more time than that off work, so I'm taking 1 day off work. I'm driving up on Friday. I'm doing the Huntsville Ham Fest on Saturday. I'm driving back on Sunday. Yeah, I'm not happy about it either, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, we've got two different feeds at least going. I don't know. I'm showing I got 3 feeds going out, but I have no idea. I don't know what's true and what's Memorex. I don't know. There's not a lot of people here. I know when you don't go live, when you say you're going to go live, you generally lose most of your audience. I get that. I understand. You know, I don't know what to do about it, but I understand. I do have both chat rooms up, and I'm watching both chat rooms. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know what to do at this point. I've had 2 blue screens of death since I've been home, and plus all this issues with the stream links and the stream. I don't know. I got to tell you guys, these programmers, or bastards as I call them, they make things so complicated. Like, when you first start using something, it's neat, it's easy, it's fun, it's great, everything's wonderful in the world, the shit don't stink, it's awesome. And thanks, Victor, for re-upping. I appreciate that. everything's great. These new programs, everything's great. And then they start updating. It's really not. And what they do is they start adding things that you don't need or want. And next thing you know, everything that you used to use is now stuck down behind some other menu, and it's no longer easy for you to use anymore. And so many programs are doing this, from Windows to word processing to a bunch of things. A lot of people, these word processors got so complicated, a lot of people just went to Google Docs because at least it's got a fairly simple to use UI. Yeah, I know, Matt, that's coming. You know who did that first, right? Richard Daystrom, the leader of the Daystrom Institute. When he built the M5 computer, he actually placed his own human engrams on the components. And yeah, that's Star Trek. You weren't buying that, right? Okay. All right. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. The Ultimate Computer, one of my top 5 episodes, actually. Really, really good. I really like the guest star that played Dr. Daystrom. He was a great madman. When's the last time they've had new Windows? I don't know what you mean. I mean, we just switched to 11. I'm still on 10 on everything but one computer, and I'm staying there. Okay, here, I'll pin that. I got it. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. If you look around, there is a horizontal feed out there, and there is a vertical feed out there. You just got to find them. We got the links in one or the other here. All right, so anyway, I'm not going to be able to do radar tonight. I'm still having issues with that as well. I think what I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to have time tomorrow because I have to leave home at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and I'll be gone all day. So probably and Friday, I'm spending the day with Mom. Saturday, I'm going down to Naples to spend the day with a client. And so, but by the time we get to Sunday, I'm hoping I'm going to bring that other computer in and see if it's the same kind of memory. I think I'm going to switch the memory out completely. Well, thanks, Heath. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll give everybody an update on the cats. Daddy went over the Rainbow Bridge, and he is buried out here behind my studio, right next to my studio. And it was sad. I really don't want to get all misty, but it was very peaceful. I always sedate first, so it's always very peaceful. And I looked him in the eye as he went. I saw it leave him. It's very sad. Anyway, so yeah, that saga is over. And you know, I used to feel guilty about something, and I try not to anymore. There's actually a relief that it's over. And I used to feel so guilty for that feeling. You know, when you've nursed a cat for 6 months or 4 months, and you've tried everything. You fed this cat every kind of shredded ham and shredded chicken and chicken soup and push up and squeeze out and pull over and everything you've ever tried to get this cat to eat. And you've done everything you can to save your kitty, and you can't save him. And he has to, and you have to put him down. And it's tough because it's like a defeat, you know. And if I had a bunch of money, I probably could have prolonged his life a little bit. But the truth is, something major was wrong. He had a stroke. Once, you know, just even with humans, you go downhill after a stroke a lot of times. It happens. And his little organs weren't working right. And I just really, I don't know. It's just tough when you've worked really hard to try to keep him around and it doesn't work, and you lose him anyway, and it's just really sad. Anyway, he did good. He was brave. Didn't fight anything. It was amazing. how absolutely awesome he was. He just laid there and looked at me, and then it was over. But I get this guilty feeling, to finish the thought. I get this guilty feeling like washes over me, you know, like once he's in the, buried, the interment was over, and I go to work and I work a shift and I come home and I'm sitting here last night, didn't do a show, and I start thinking to myself, what's going on? What's going on with this whole thing? And you really start thinking about it, and I felt relief last night. I was still very sad, but I felt relief for him, because this difficult struggle, this painful time was over with, and his energy is now part of the great energy again. And I also felt relief for myself, because I've been worried about this cat for so long that I actually feel a sense of relief. And I used to feel really guilty about that feeling. But you shouldn't. I felt so guilty about this, I've read books on it. And I'm telling you, I've dealt with grief from every angle you can deal with it from. And there's nothing wrong with feeling relief for your loved one, and relief for you that your life can now begin to return to normal because that situation's resolved. Is it resolved the way I wanted it resolved? Of course not. But at least it's resolved. We can now move on. Mama Kitty's getting better. Every day she gets a little bit better. She's eating regular food now, and she's walking all around. Her eyes are looking good. The one cat that never got it is ARRL, and now both of his eyes are infected. It started up last night. So he's going to be hopefully the last one that has to go through this. I don't know where they're getting this from. I'm a little concerned. It's weird. It's like just an eye infection. It lasts about 3 or 4 days, and then it goes away. Most of them only get it in one eye, but good old ARRL gets it in both eyes at the same time. You might as well. Anyway, but Littles is doing great. Ted's doing great, and I had the little kitty in here. He's in here right now. I brought the little kitty Leonard in here. You guys wanted me to call them cats, Kirk and Spock, and I took your suggestion and I modified it a little bit. I'm calling them Leonard and Bill. Yep, after Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner. So it's gonna be Leonard and Bill, and Leonard is in here right now. Bill, I'm still working on. I can pick him up for short distances and stuff, but I haven't brought him in the room yet. Yeah, Pangolangolier, you know what? When it comes to that, here's the question, the ultimate question. And my mother used to always tell me this, and it's absolutely true. And she told me the other day. She said, you have to ask yourself this question. Are you keeping that animal alive because of the animal, or are you keeping that animal alive because you can't let it go, or because you, whatever, because of you? And wow, that's profound when you think about it. How many times do we keep them alive for us? Here's the thing, the animal doesn't understand, I'm about to die. This is the end of my life. Oh, woe's me. They don't understand that. Their thought process is not that deep. And to them, they're just not feeling well, and then it's over. There's no regret. There's no remorse. There's no mourning the loss of their life. For a cat, it's not that complicated. So we shouldn't make it any more complicated than we have to. You know what I mean? We need to make it less complicated. Here's how complicated it is. When that animal's life is at the point where it's not worth living, where they're in pain every day, just put them down. Seriously. Because if there's no quality of life, they don't understand. It's not like, oh man, I want to stay alive for a couple more weeks. I want to watch some more TV. I want to stay here till my loved ones have another chance to come see me. I want to stay alive a little bit longer. I want to live another month. I want to see what happens in the presidential election. Whatever. Okay? They don't think like that. To them, it's, I'm in pain, I'm not in pain. And so, like I did with him, I waited until I got clear signs. But I didn't keep him around for me. I only kept him around when there was a chance for him. Once I determined there was no chance for a future, there was no recovery, I had already called and established that we were going to be doing this with the vet, but I didn't set a date. That next morning, he couldn't stand and walk. And he hadn't eaten 3 days. That next day, he didn't eat in the morning. He couldn't stand and walk really at all. That's the sign. I called and set it for the next morning. And then he did a little bit later that day, get up and walk around a little bit. He did lick a little bit of broth, but the truth is, he was done. And so I let him go. I don't know, guys. I have no idea what's wrong with it. I have no idea. There's nothing I can do about it. It looks perfectly fine on this end. Of course. Nothing ever works for me. I'm shutting down some things that don't need to be running, but I'm not getting any notices from YouTube that my stream bitrate is low. So I don't know. The thing is, Incognita, I can't use the new features without the new updates to OBS. So I'm probably going to have to give all of it up and just go back to the old one. I hate these the new controls for the audio. It sucks. Yeah, Pangolier, that's the thing. I got a family member that's got a dog now that's been getting these big cysts and different things, and it's reached a point now where it's getting 3 or 4 more, and it's time. Anyway, hey VTX, what's up? There's my buddy VTX. He has been putting up a huge tower. I'm not going to get too specific because I don't know. We'll eventually come on here and talk about it, I'm sure. But put up a huge ass tower, and he's picking up people in like 5 states. Oh man, that's cool. I can't wait. Next weekend. I'm heading up there a week from tomorrow. I'll be heading up in the wee hours of the morning. I'll be heading up Friday morning. Actually, it'll be Thursday night, Friday morning. I'll be heading up about 3 a.m. And I'm going to get up there probably around in the mid-afternoon. And then we'll have time to do some stuff. And then get a good night's sleep. Get up Saturday morning, go to the Huntsville Ham Fest, what used to be the second largest ham fest in the country, but I'm hearing rumors that they have increased the size to such an event that they may beat Dayton this year and now take over the lead for the biggest one in the country. Oh wow, Heath, that's interesting. I'm going to look that up. Yeah, Incognita, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you something, that OBS used to be very easy to use. But when you start getting in with these plugins and trying to get plugins to work with OBS, and then OBS and the plugin to work with YouTube, it starts to get really, really complicated. And here's the problem that I'm always running into. Every video I watch, every effing video I watch, okay, for how to do this on YouTube, how to do this on this other programming, how to do this on Streamlabs. Anytime I watch one of these videos, it's old, it's dated. They're like, oh, hit your promotions button, hit this button, hit this button. Those buttons don't exist anymore. They literally don't exist anymore. Every single video, YouTube recommended me a video the other day. And when I went to it and I followed the steps in the video, it's all changed. That's how ignorant this is. They're changing this shit so fast that the videos can't even, the how-to videos can't even keep up with what the hell's going on. It's aggravating. One-to-one SWR. There we go. Guys, if you're not in the radios, that's standing wave ratio, SWR. And for you CBers, you know what SWR is. Because most of your antennas had a shitty SWR, and that's why your radio eventually quit transmitting. Years ago, them old CBs would blow themselves up. They didn't have anything in there to protect the finals. Yeah, buttons change, man. Why change buttons? Why add? Look, if you're going to add stuff, you add it. You don't mix it in and shuffle it in with all the shit that we've already got. This new Windows 11, it's an abortion wrapped up in a pile of crap. And it's because the biggest problem I have with 11 is not that it runs crappy, which it does. My problem with 11 is not compatibility. My problem with 11 is not appearance, although the appearance is atrocious. My problem with Windows 11 is they've literally moved every effing button on the entire program, every single one. None of the menus work the same. Now you have multiple settings menus. It's absolutely ridiculous. Incognita, those have come way down. I don't know if you were shocked because they've come down or you were shocked that they're still kind of high. 32 gigs, I think I was looking at them the other day, like $100, $120, something like that, I think. Come here. I want to show you to everybody. Come here. Look at this little guy. He don't like being held. I don't like being held. I don't like being held. Ah! He had an eye infection too that he's getting over. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I guess I'm the last one not to get it. Well, it's because they get paid to make changes. But notice I didn't say they get paid to make good or positive changes. They just get paid to make changes. And they ooh and ah the idiots they work for. Oh, VTX, that's a good deal. Yeah, you know, VTX, I'm gonna see if the RAM in that Linux machine. I think there's a sticker to a RAM in that Linux machine that we bought, and I'm gonna see if that'll go in this machine. I got 2 more blue screens. I'm getting about 2 or 3 a day, and sometimes they happen during broadcasts. Guess what though? If I start up the radar, the advanced radar that I have, it will blue screen every time. As I'm scanning across that radar, it blue screens and I get the memory allocation error. Yeah, that's a Volcano Kilauea. That is live out of Hawaii right there. You're seeing in the center screen. Upper left, that's out of Sicily. That one's been going on for a little while now. And then the upper center is a flood we've got in progress. That's in Indiana. And then they're tracking police activity out west on RT Media. And so there you go. That's what we got going on tonight. Just some different things we're watching out there. It'll fit, yeah. I'm gonna try it and see if it'll work. And if it doesn't blue screen, I'm gonna know it's one of those two. But see, I switched those other two out, and if I put them one way, the computer will start up with the one chip in it. But when I switch and put the other chip in it by itself, the computer won't even start up. So I think I got a bad memory stick. But when I just put the one in and started up, it's still blue screened. So I have no idea. Are they both bad? It's good RAM I bought. I don't know. VTX might remember. He's a lot better with the computers than I am. As a matter of fact, he's the one that taught me how to build the damn things. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, I'll figure out what slot 1 is. I get my slots mixed up, you know what I mean? Oh, bad joke. Okay, yeah, I think it's DDR4 in both computers. Well, I'm thinking about slowly switching the parts from one computer to the other until I find the one that's creating the blue screen of death. But all the two different errors I get both have to do with memory. They both have the term memory in them. And so I'm thinking the memory, and when I looked it up online, sure enough, the memory's the first thing you should try. Okay, yeah, well, when I start the testing up again, I will put it in slot 1. That probably is what happened, because I kept switching it around, and I finally got the one to work, and I didn't realize it had to be in a specific slot. I thought that was very 1998. I remember back then. Remember back then, if you had two of them, they had to match and all that bullshit. Yeah, I thought I saw the 32s for like $100. DDR4, 32 gig. Oh shit. Yeah, here's 216 gigs for 209. Here's 216 gigs for 183. Man, this shit is like triple what it was when I bought mine. You know, you don't think about wearing out parts in your computer, but I run this thing 24 hours a day. I broadcast 3 hours a day on it sometimes, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. You know, there is wear and tear on this equipment. You know, it's not necessarily like the brakes in your car, but there is wear and tear on this equipment. It is running all the time. And I'll tell you what, I believe, and you guys can take this to the bank. After working so many years in broadcasting, computers, when you shut them down every day and you let them cool completely down every day, and then you come home from work and you start them back up, and then you shut it back off, and then you get up in the morning and you start it back up, and then you shut it off, and then you get up in the afternoon and you start it back up and you shut it back off. Every time you do that, all the equipment inside there expands and contracts at a different rate. Okay? If you leave your computer running 24 hours a day, not asleep, but running, just in an idle mode, everything in there remains a constant temperature. This is the actual best thing. At work, the computers that get shut off every night and turned back on in the morning don't last as long as the ones that run 24 hours a day. What used to skew this the other way was motion hard drives that have spinning disks in them. Those would go bad because they're sitting there running. And then the newer ones came out with a thing where you could shut down your hard drive motors after a certain amount of idle time and things like that. But the whole idea is especially now with solid state, solid state hard drives and things like that, there's no moving parts per se. I think you're better just leaving your machine on and idle. That's just my opinion. I could be right, I could be wrong, but after these years in broadcasting, my engineers at work and I have talked about this exact thing. And they told me that the computers that they turn on and off every single day don't last as long as the ones in radio that stay up 24/7 and never get turned off ever. They're on a battery. They'll go years without shutting down for any period of time. And then if you have a computer you've run for 3 or 4 years and then you start shutting it off, it'll die within a month or two. It'll die. It's just the fact that it's been on all that time. It's just been, it's maintained. It hasn't had any issues. So, all right. And if you're on the Upright stream and you'd like to watch on the other stream where we're chatting over here, the link is pinned to the top there. by Moorhead Media. Just go ahead and click that link, and that will bring you over to the normal chat room and also to the landscape mode video. And you can possibly like that better. We recommend our feed for television, but what I recommend people do is put us on the TV, and then on your phone, you can also pull us up, and you can even pull the, whichever one you want, but you can pull it up on your phone and use your phone as your chat. And you can even plug in a headphone and put headphones in for when we do the left and right ear thing. When we're covering a big event, we have separate audio in the left and right ear. And I do that because I want to have more feeds. I want you to hear more, have more data, more information. Yeah, I agree. Just leave it on. Lead-free solder gives you 10 whiskers. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's good for them to be turned on and off and heated up and cooled down constantly. I don't think it's good for your car either. But you can't leave your car running in the driveway all night. Yeah, there's vehicles that never get shut off, and they last just as long or just as many miles as the ones that do get shut off. And I think part of that is because even though they're idling a lot longer, there's not that constant expanding and contracting of all of the parts and the seals and the different dissimilar metals and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, once VTX is done, if he wants to, and I think he will, we'll have him on, and we'll bring. He can bring some pictures that I'll show you guys of his tower. He built a tower with a communications bunker at the base of it. He's up over 100 feet. I gave him my 16-bay looped dipole antenna. I gave it to him. I want that sumbitch up there. That's the best antenna ever made. I ended up, that antenna, it's 22 feet long. It's got 16 loops going up. It's 400 megahertz, it's 70 sems, and this thing is freaking huge. It's 22 feet tall, just the antenna. Well, he's got it up at the top of his 100-foot mast on top of a hill. And he's got it sitting next to a big 2-meter that's really a great 2-meter antenna, which is VHF, 145 megahertz. And those two antennas are sitting up there at the top. And you talk about gain. Oh, my God. The gain he gets on. He hasn't even tested the UHF yet. He's getting a piece of wire for that next weekend. And then we'll put that on. He'll put that up there and hook it up. And he's getting some really good wire for that 16-bay UHF antenna. It's got like 8 or 10 dB of gain. It's absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what that thing will pick up. But he's putting a couple of repeaters up there and different things. We're going to have HF up there and God knows what else. It's going to be great. Oh, man, a lightning strike. Yeah, we had lightning hit here before I got into ham radio. It was just before I got into ham radio. It struck and it blew the GFIs out of the socket. The sockets blew out of the buckets in the wall. It actually blew the GFI out in pieces. It blew across the room, 2 of them. And it blew up everything in my house. Anything that still worked after the lightning strike failed within 30 days because it was fatally mortally wounded, unfortunately. Hey, Swaggy McTorso, welcome in. Thank you for joining the crew. Appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Yeah, and so that's kind of how that works. It blew out everything, even my stove, my refrigerator. The washer and dryer both had issues and quit working within 6 months. The stove quit working within a few days after the incident. The fridge pounded on for 3 or 4 months making a noise, and it finally quit. Yeah, it hurt us. The only piece of equipment in the house that did not have to be replaced was the water heater. I lost a computer that was old and needed to be replaced anyway, but I lost it, and it had my shit on it. And I also lost a few other pieces of equipment. But like I said, luckily, it was just before I got into ham radio and just before I started buying a bunch of equipment. So, yeah. Jungle Jordy, thanks for sending that. And also, Pangolingalier did one a lot earlier, and I missed it because it was while all that mess was going on. But thank you for that. And thank you, Jungle Jordy. Is it Thal 9290? You just got a free membership from Jungle Jordy for 1 month to the Starship Adventures. Welcome aboard. Pick up your uniforms, and we'll meet you in the galley. All right. Yep. And is it Goopinder? Goopinder, you are in the upright. If you come over to the other link that's pinned there, we actually have a whole big discussion going on over here. But we got 2 different chat rooms right now. We're trying to get all this consolidated into one. I think I found how to do it. But of course it's not working, and I got to figure it out. Nothing just, you know what? When someone looks at me and says, oh, it's plug and play, I slap the shit out of them. Don't use that language around me. There ain't no such thing in this effing world as plug and play, okay? There's plug, frustrate, plug, not work, plug, blue screen, plug, warning, plug, error, syntax error, plug, you need to buy this, plug, you need to sign into that, plug. It's not plug and play. It's never plug and play. It's never in that order, okay? When you say plug and play, you skip over the 3 days you effing waste in the middle. Plug and play. Got some real balls coming in here with that kind of language. Plug and play. Yep. Yeah, there's a oh my God. Look at that price. You know what you want to know what's funny is my computer is a Ryzen 9. It's a few lower than that, but it's a Ryzen 9. I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM. I got 232 sticks in there. And I have a 2 terabyte hard drive when I started this thing. And I have a huge video card in it with 5 outputs, and the whole thing cost me $1,000 3 years ago. Not even quite 3 years, about 3 years ago. Yeah, I tell you what, computers, man, the whole AI craze is driving the price of computers up pretty quick. Yeah, that volcano's really going. This is live out of Hawaii, guys. We got multiple views here, live out of Hawaii. This is Kilauea. They need to go throw a virgin or something in there. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I got to read about it. I think it's a virgin, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's liquor. I think sometimes it's liquor and sometimes it's virgins. I don't know. I don't get any of that shit. Yeah, and just so everybody knows, if you've never tried it, I use PC Part Picker. If you guys have never looked at that website, pull up PC Part Picker. If you want to build your own computer, PC Part Picker. And I don't work for them. This is not a paid endorsement. This is an actual endorsement. I built this computer with PC Part Picker. What you do is you go in there and you pick what you want. I want a Ryzen 9. Boom, you pick it. Okay? And then from there, it says, okay, you need a board. Here's all the boards that are compatible. And you pick your board. And then it says, okay, you need memory. How much do you want? Here's the ones that are compatible. Okay, you need a hard drive. What kind do you want? Okay, here's the ones that are compatible. Okay, and now you need a video card. Okay, what kind do you want? Okay, here's the ones that are compatible. And by the time you get to the bottom of the list, there's your price right there. There's your parts. And here's what's really cool. The cheapest one, the button's right there. Amazon, Amazon, eBay, Amazon, Amazon. And you can just go right on and add them to your cart and order them right there, just like that. That's what I did. Yeah, plug and pray. You're right. Hey, Zen, we're over in the other chat room. The link is in a pinned comment. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm still seeing the other chat room, so I'm trying to get, when I see people pop up over there, I tell them to come over. Yes, there is a meteor shower tonight. I've got that up here on the list of things to talk about. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad we got this going because, guys, I really needed friends tonight. It's been kind of rough at work. You ever have that time at work where you actually really want to do a good job, but you can't get the support that you need? You know, sometimes I feel like that. It's like, man, I really, really, really want to do a good job. And sometimes I don't feel like my priorities are the same as other people's. And it's very frustrating. Very, very, very frustrating. All right, the solar eclipse happened earlier today, but wasn't for us. Some people did get a good shot of it from over off the Mediterranean and over in Western Europe and Central Europe. You could see it was really good. Yeah, Pangalangalier. Yeah, this whole thing with the deorbiting the space station, give me a break. What are we doing? Why would we deorbit that thing? All right? You can just shut it off and just leave it, you know? And you just got to keep it in orbit, which you got to keep the gyro system going. But, I mean, other than that, it'll stay up there for a long time. I'll never understand why we don't just continue to build on things that we have. Why do we're going to crash this thing, we're going to burn it up into the atmosphere, this thing that's been in such great service of our world, and now we're just going to let it burn up? Why not leave it there, and eventually we'll be able to attach it to the larger space station and do even more and have even more stuff up there? At least wait until you can hook it up to something and transfer all the good equipment over. I mean, the whole thing just seems like a waste to me. But hey, when you're spending somebody else's money, who gives a shit, right? Yeah, the video cards are terrible. They're expensive. Yep. Yeah, if I had everything I needed, I could just do so much better than I have to now. But you know what? I'm building workarounds with Google AI Studio. That's exactly what I'm doing. I can't get the software I need at work. So rather than bitching about it, I can't pay for it myself. It's too expensive. So rather than bitching about it, I went to Google AI Studio and I built the software. I literally built the broadcast software that I need. I built one that puts the head and the name and has the waving flag in the background. I built that one. It's done. It's ready. I built another one that will be able to capture parts of websites, and it will save 25 of them. So in other words, I can put up the results for Florida Congressional District 19, and I can capture that and save it. And then anytime my host says, all right, let's go take a look at the numbers on CD19, I can, boom, hit CD19, and it comes up on the screen, and it refreshes as it comes up, so you know it's the latest numbers. And then I take it live with the switcher, and then I show it while he's talking about the numbers, and then I switch it back to the group screen with all of us, and then I switch it to the next one. Okay, let's talk about CD22. Okay, boom, CD22, take. So I built the software I needed. Rather than waiting around for someone to do it for me, I just built it myself. Voyager is a wonderful series to binge. It's a wonderful series for background too. Voyager, I go back and forth between Voyager and Deep Space Nine being my favorites. Of course, the original's always my number one, because that's how I fell in love with Star Trek. But when it comes to what series, like if I was stuck on a desert island and I could only have one series, what would it be? And I go back and forth between Voyager and Deep Space Nine. Yeah. I love me some Catherine Janeway. I had a crush on that woman for a while. Oh, Kate Mulgrew. She's great. I love her in that. And I don't mean like that. You know, I mean, she's a great captain. I always was hoping we'd get a female captain. You know? I'm not one of these people. When are we going to get a black captain? When are we going to get a female captain? When are we going to get an Asian captain? But I always thought, it would be cool to have a female captain. And then we got Kate, and she was just so great. Have you guys ever seen, they actually shot about 2 weeks worth of scenes with a different captain. Did you guys see that? You can go find it on YouTube. They actually shot scenes with this other woman, this French woman. And she's giving orders and walking around dressed like Janeway, doing the same lines as Janeway and everything. And then Janeway, they get rid of her because she did movies, and TV is a completely different animal. And she wasn't working out. They didn't want her. She didn't want them. It worked out good. Goodbye. And they actually got Kate Mulgrew to be Captain Janeway. And, oh, thank God, because she's so much better. That new Starfleet Academy show, it's literally not worthy of the shit on the bottom of my shoes. I watched the entire first season. It's the dregs of the Alpha Quadrant, okay? It's probably, quite possibly, some of the most woke shit garbage television I've ever seen in my life. I have to honestly say, it is absolute shit. Okay? The Strange New Worlds is hit and miss. There's some of those that are actually really good. There's some that are kind of good. There's some that are kind of shit. And there's 3 or 4 of them that need to be flushed out an airlock, okay? They're just garbage. Now, this coming week, tomorrow, in the morning, right at midnight tonight, in a couple of hours, they're going to be releasing the next episode. I think it's episode 4, season 4, episode 4, Strange New Worlds. And from what I understand, it's going to be a Muppet episode. I'm done with this. I'm done. A Muppet episode? I mean, Jesus Christ, that all they do is other movies. That's it. All they do is other movies. The first of this season, the very first one, it was Doctor Who. Watch that episode. It was Doctor effing Who, okay? It was. And the second one, what was the second one like? Event Horizon. It was the movie Event Horizon, but with Star Trek deltas on the shirts. Every one of these is just like based on something else. The whole thing's kind of stupid. How many times can we do Enemy Mine? You know what I mean? Back to Galangdon Core again with Geordi and the Romulan. That was another one that was one of those movies. But every one they do is literally like, okay, let's take this movie. Let's do this movie. Let's do Event Horizon, and we're just going to change the names. Okay, now we're just going to do this, and we're going to change the names. It's ridiculous. It's like they don't... first of all, whoever's writing doesn't know Star Trek. I think you should be a Trekkie or a Trekor, depending on how you like to say it. I think you should be a Trekkie or a Trekor if you're going to write for Star Trek. This woke drivel horse shit that they're writing right now, you can tell that these bastards have never actually sat and watched or appreciated the original series or The Next Generation. Yeah, Star Trek in Las Vegas. It's wonderful. I can't afford it. Maybe if I do better on YouTube over the years and I get to where I'm self-sustaining, one of my goals is the big Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. I've got a list of things I want to go do once I get the van going, once I get the account going, I get my silver plaque, I'm making enough money. I'm going to Ticonderoga to see that set, and I'm going back to Sandusky to see that set again. Sandusky, Ohio, Ticonderoga, New York, those are the two big sets. And I'm going to the big Star Trek convention out there. But I will tell you, part of the problem is that Vegas has become absolutely ignorant. It's become absolutely ignorant. A place where you could go drop $15 and get a nice buffet is now a $50 dinner no matter where you go. It's absolutely nuts. We used to get rooms in the Rio for $1.50, $1.75, $200 a night for the cheap rooms in the Rio. And now that they've remodeled everything and everything's new and nobody comes anymore, those same rooms in the Rio now are $500-600 a night, $700 a night. So if I'm flying out there, it's too far to just drive. I mean, if you're making a 2-week trip out of it, yeah, but it's too far to just drive. So I got to fly out there. It's thousands of miles. I fly out there. That's big money. And then I got to get from the airport to the hotel, and then Uber anywhere I got to go, I guess. When you start looking at it, it's expensive. Yeah. Yeah, the Burning Man is an interesting event. It's very leftist and liberal, but I also somehow identify a little bit with it. I don't know. I kind of have mixed emotions on that one. They've honored some different people that I really cared about at that Burning Man. I don't know. I like it, but I don't like it. It's one of those weird. I have a weird dichotomy about that. Yeah, Matt. There used to be buffets, $5, $10, $15 buffets, all you could eat, and it's cheap cafeteria food. Which guess what? That's what I eat. That's right. I don't like expensive foo-foo-y food. I like meat and gravy, freaking buffet food. That's what I like. The $3.99 buffet. Yeah, remember the $3.99 lunch buffet at Golden Corral. Yeah, I mean Golden Corral now. When we go to Golden Corral, if it's not a Sunday, it's $20 plus a drink. So it's $25 for two of us. That's $50 plus a tip, which is only $2 or $3 because all they do is fill your tea one time. It's not like a regular restaurant. I do not pay. I only tip 5 or 10% at a smorgasbord at an all-you-can-eat. But I always tip 20 to 25% if it's a sit down. And I do not tip fast food. I'm sorry if anybody hates me for that. When I go to Subway and the Subway artisan makes my sandwich, yeah, I appreciate it. But then the machine comes up and tries to trick me into giving them a 20% tip. 20%? You made me a sandwich. You're being paid to do it. You don't even get tip pay. You get full pay. And you want my, Yeah, the lottery. I've never played the lottery. With luck like mine, you don't waste your money on shit like the lottery. Yeah, I think Vegas did run better when the mob ran it. Yep. I agree with you, Deploribus. You're still in therapy after a month in Vegas. I want to see Vegas really bad. I've never been there. And I want to do it during this huge-ass convention. Hey, if you guys are watching on the Upright stream, look at the pinned comment, click it, and come on over and come into chat on the regular stream. We are broadcasting in Upright, and we are broadcasting in horizontal. As they used to say, we control the horizontal. We control the vertical. We are in control of your screen. Do not attempt to adjust your set. We are in control. Do you guys remember the show? Come on, somebody has to remember that one. Yeah, I don't play lottery at all. Well, see, that's the thing. If I'm at a Star Trek con, there'll be a lot of people there I can talk to. You know, there'll be a lot of things going on. Um, no, the chats are not combined together. We've been unable to figure out how to do that. So, no, they are not. Um, that's why when I see somebody pop up in the upright, um, when I see somebody on the vertical, I tell them if they want to chat, come over to the horizontal because that's where most of the people are right now. Yeah, I would love to combine all this, but there's all the videos on YouTube on how to do this are already out of date. The buttons they tell me to press aren't even there. So yeah, the airline industry is another thing I don't even care to be around. Boy, that lava flows up. It's up 60, 70 feet now in the air, it looks like. I could try AI, but I'm having the same problem with AI. The first thing it does is say, okay, go to your settings screen and go to this, and this doesn't exist. Every single time I go to do anything lately, um, the tutorial's already out of date. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't let me combine the chat rooms. It would make sense. That would sure be a nice feature if that's how it works. Do you guys know if that's how it works on other channels? Because I'm trying to figure out how to combine the chat and I can't figure out a way to do it. And I'm very tech savvy. I mean, I build my own systems. I'm through AI. I'm making all my own software now, and for some reason, I'm having a real problem here. Yeah, I don't care about that race. I'm telling you what, every time these liberals elect a socialist, they're helping us out. As of about 2 days ago, I am completely convinced the Democrat Party is coming apart at the seams. They're literally coming apart at the seams. You got people all over the place now, from Chuck Schumer to Jim's Carvel. You got all these different people that are saying, I'm done. I'm done with the Democrats. I'm not going to be a socialist. You've even got Hillary Clinton coming out now. People are starting to speak, and they're saying, look, we're Democrats. We're not socialists. There's a difference. And I think what it is people like Hillary, who's not a stupid bulb in the box like so many others in her party. I think she's starting to figure it out. Hey, we've been hijacked. Not only is it a foothold situation for commies in our country, but it's a foothold situation for commies in our party. And so what's really cool about that is the more radical, the more far left, the more communist, the more socialist the person is that wins the primary, the easier road it is for the Republicans coming up. They will lose anywhere from 2 to 5 House seats, at least, because of these extreme commies that they've let get in there. Yeah, I'm sure you don't like Hillary Clinton. I don't much like her either, to be honest. Her cackle's even worse than Camel Toe Harris. But I guarantee you that she knows something. She sees it. And you can like her or not like her, but when she starts coming out and saying our party's coming apart, these people are taking over our party. That's like when someone says, oh, the Democrat Party's changing to communist. No, they're not. They're being hijacked by the communists. They're hijacked. They're creating another party within the party. Instead of just being the the Communist Party exists. You can vote for the communist in many presidential races. There's a communist on the ballot in many states. You can vote commie now, but they're never going to win as a third party. So what they decided to do was, instead of trying to become a third party and wedge in between these other two huge parties, they decided to take the weak party, which of course is the left, and literally take it over and eat it like a cancer from the inside out. And that's what they've done. And as of this election, they're not hiding it no more. They're not hiding it no more. These commies are coming out of the woodwork. They're there. They're entrenched. Yep. And they were embraced, Zen. They were literally embraced when they came into the party. People are like, oh, look, they're going to join us. They're going to make us stronger. You idiot. They didn't join you to make you stronger. They're taking your party from you, you dumbass. That's what's going on. They're literally taking your party. And I'm starting to hear people talk about it. I'm starting to hear people on the left that are your standard run-of-the-mill Democrats, your old school Democrats, stand up and say, what are we doing? What are we doing? You're not going to win big elections as a socialist. You're not going to. It's just stacked. It's stacked against you. Because even if you count all the Democrats, only 40% or 50% or 60% of them want to be socialist. You'll never get 51% with a socialist party or with a socialist candidate on a nationwide scale. It'll never happen. So basically, what this is doing right now is it's making the Republican Party stronger than ever. And it's weakening the Democrat Party right at the knees. It's taking them out. This is splitting them like a volcano, like an earthquake, right down the thing, with lava flowing down. That's what it is. This is a crevasse that's growing in size every day between the left and the socialist left. And this is probably one of the best things that could happen to our country. Yep, 10 days to Hamfest. I can't wait. We'll get together this weekend. Maybe we'll Zoom or something. VTX. We need to finalize everything I'm bringing up and finalize all the plans and everything. But we'll get together this weekend. Yeah, well, that's Bill. That's Bill. That's why I was getting some on the side, because she was just such a bitch. Billery. Oh my God. Yeah, Matt, because I think the smart ones on the left, which there's not all that many apparently, but the smart ones on the left are starting to realize, oh my God, OMFNG, we're about to lose our party. We're about to lose our political identity. And so, and I think that's where it's at. Moorhead, no, it's not. I hate Windows 11. I've got a laptop that I hardly ever use because it's got Windows 11 on it. I don't want to use it. I hate it. I like the equipment, but I don't like the operating system. And I can't get a clear answer on whether I can put 10 in it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about running like a virtual version of 10. I got to find out if it can take 10. If it'll run with 10, then I want to put 10 in it. Because I'm done with 11. I won't use it. It's terrible. It's just terrible. Even though I found a program and was able to make it look like Windows 10, it still runs like Windows 11. Um, yeah. The model and name of my computer. Well, I built it. It's a homemade computer. Um, it's an Azores board, I think. It's a Rosin 9. Um, it's an EVGA GeForce GTX video card, and yeah, but there's no like name of it because, like I said, I built it out of parts. I bought everything off a PC part picker. Oh, the laptop. Let me see if I can get that real quick. I just keep it in the bag. I don't use it much. It's a Nemo. Nimo. I can't read it. I have to use my phone camera. This is my magnifying glass, just so you guys know. All right, it's a Nemo, Nimo portable computer, model November 175. That's N November 175. It's a 20 volt 5 amp input. That should be all you need. It's made by Nemo Direct Incorporated, nemopc.com. And I got the serial if you need it. Yeah, it's a damn good laptop. I like it. It's just it's got a worthless operating system in it. Yeah, Biden was an odd duck, all right. He was an odd duck long before he got senile. You know, he used to say the damnedest things. He used to touch women. He used to hug women and touch their ass. He used to always sniff their hair. Anytime he would come up behind a woman, he would grab her by both arms and come up and sniff her hair. I mean, the guy was a weirdo. You guys ever seen them? Well, here, let me see if I can find it, because that was a funny ass meme that I made. Oh shit, I don't see it. Of course, I'm not in Google. I don't see it, but anyway, I took years. This was back before AI. I took, you know, those. You go into like a wig store, I guess, and there's like a tree that just holds heads that wigs are on, and it's like a tree that holds like 15 heads, and there's like a wig on each head, and I took that, and I put a picture of Biden next to it, smelling the hair on one of the wigs, and I made a meme, and on the meme it said, Joe Biden hair sniffing stations now coming to international airports around the country. It was hilarious. I don't know where it went, though. I don't see it anywhere. um, Yeah, that nasty woman and her new abortion law. What was that, New Jersey, I think? What a nasty, disgusting woman. She says, now you can kill your baby right up before it's born. They all started clapping like a bunch of goddamn dolphins. And it's like, you're killing babies. You're killing babies like 8 hours before they're going to be born and they're going to live. Talk about viability. Oh my God, dude. Have you seen the interviews with these nurses that have to sit there and watch that baby die? It's disgusting. Yeah, I haven't gone on my Discord in a little while. I got to get that back up and start doing that again. I have a hard time with social media because it's just a dead drain on time. I try to always push forward towards the 2 shows that I produce. Anyway, I know, Moorhead. I'm stuck. I'm stuck with it. I don't know what to do with it. I try to use it for broadcast, but the OBS doesn't work right in it. The video stuff doesn't work right in it. I have nothing but trouble with it. I get errors. I get low bit rates. I get all kinds of shit with it. And that's what I was afraid of, because I looked some stuff up a while back, and it was very discouraging for me to try to put Windows 10 in that laptop. They do this on purpose. I mean, they send out a year ahead of time what the new operating system is going to be, and then what they want is everybody to build their shit to where it's all built for the new operating system that's coming out. Yep, that's disgusting. I don't understand people. It's like, whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. Yep, I've done a little bit of that stuff with AI. I just like the AI Studio where it just makes the program for me. I guess I'm lazy. I guess I could try to dual boot that thing or something. I just hate that it has Windows 11 in it. There was nothing else I could do, guys. I could not buy a broadcast ready laptop with Windows 10 at the time. It was not available. What they do is when Windows 11 came out, Windows gives these sellers X amount of days to have all their Windows 10 stock gone. It's usually within 30 days. They have to have it all gone. And so what many of these places will do is they'll literally flash Windows 11 on it. And they'll pull them out, and they'll sit there and they'll line them up down a table and do them 50 at a time. And they will install Windows, they'll roll them forward to Windows 11 and then put them back in the box and resell them, and that way they can still sell the products. So now you're getting a Windows 10 laptop that's got the newer operating system in it. You know it's going to be slow. And but that's what happens because Windows forces them to eliminate any products that don't have the newest operating system within X amount of days. Yeah, Yanni, you're a lot further into it than I am. Like I said, I'm letting AI write the shit, but I'm doing really good with the prompting, and I'm able to get it to make what I need it to make. Like I said, I'm making broadcast software with it now for screen software and stuff. It's pretty cool. That's true. I could put the Linux on a thumb drive and boot it off the thumb drive and make sure everything works. Massachusetts. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's something else. That nasty woman. You know, does she ever think once that maybe her mother could have done that to her? By the way, that the rocks are now falling on the camera. I'm just letting you know. We're now probably 70, 80, 90 feet in the air, and that's molten rock. And if you look closely, you will see it hit the camera every now and then. The camera moves a little bit, and you'll see little rocks falling right in front of the camera. That's what that is, molten rock. It's falling all around. These cameras are kind of portable. They'll go and just sit them out there, and then they can go and move them around, get them closer and further away, whatever. But they're completely autonomous. They're battery operated, and they're solar powered. Okay, yeah, I saved that link in my show notes. Hey, dispatch. Yeah, there's always someone calling in sick, isn't there? It's like one constant in the universe, and it seems worse in certain businesses, if you know what I mean. All right. Yeah, and if you guys, Michael Montoya, we are over in the other chat room. Look for the pinned comment. That hi guy, we're over in the other chat room. Look for the pinned comment. Come on over and see us over there. I don't know what's going on tonight. We've got a bunch of different streams going. Um, yeah, that's, by the way, that's not exactly what Trump said. You've taken that out of context. Um, yeah. No, California's still there, unfortunately. I love California. I'm just not much on the humans that inhabit it. Present company excluded. Um, yeah, you got to come over to the other chat room if you want to troll me. You got to you got to be in the right one if you're going to troll. That's right. You know, you take what somebody says and you twist it all around, and then you use that to call names like a child. That's what it is. I think it's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, deploribus. I worked at a fire station that used to pay us by paper check on Fridays at noon. And I went to a meeting, a commission meeting, and I spoke at our own commission meeting. I was a lieutenant at the fire department, and I said, "Look, guys, you pay us on Friday. You pay me at noon. I'm working a 24-hour shift on Friday. There's no banks open." This was a long time ago. "There's no banks open on Saturday. There's no banks open on Sunday, and I work a 24-hour on Monday. Which means if I get paid on Friday at noon, I will not see this money until Tuesday morning when I get off work and drive to the bank." And they agreed. They're like, "You're right. That's not right," and they moved it to Thursday at noon. And that way we could stop by at noon and pick up our check. And if we're on duty, we can go the next morning. If we're off duty, we can go right then. And that way we'd have our money either way. What a ridiculous thing. But I agree with what they're doing. They're trying to get people to show up on Friday, which is a bitch. My oil change place just closed down. And I asked the guy, I said, why you going out of business? And he says, I can't keep work. He goes, I got plenty of people wanting oil changes, but I can't hire anybody that wants to change the oil. He goes, I end up here all by myself changing oil all day long. And he goes, everybody I hire, they don't want to show up. They're half-assing this. They don't do that. He says, I can't get anywhere with these people. And I'm just like, man, that really sucks. So I lost my oil change place. Now I got to go to one of these chains. Negative. I would never join a union. In fact, I was a big part of fighting the union for many years. We were a volunteer/paid department. I was full-time, but I ran the volunteer department and the training program for many, many years. And we fought the union. The union kept trying. Every year they would come in and they would hold a meeting. And every year we would all go in and sit there, and they would all tell us about the union, and we would tell them no. I would go sometimes just for the hell of it, because if you didn't go, you didn't get the vote. So we all had to show up to make sure that enough of us voted no. Well, every year, 6 of us voted no and 1 of us voted yes. That's kind of how it came out every year. And we did not want the union. We were a small department. We did not need a union. Unions hate volunteers. We survive with volunteer manpower. We only have a very small paid staff. And so, no, I never joined the union. In fact, I fought the union for years. Unions tend to really screw things up. Was there a time and a place for unions? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There was a time and a place for unions. That time has come and gone many years ago. These unions are worthless nowadays. These fire department unions down here have got the pay of these guys jacked up so much, they've had to close down 5 fire stations in my county in the last 6 or 7 years. Yep, they've closed them down. North Fort Myers Fire Department. My closest station right down here, Station 1, closed. Why? Union raises. They closed an entire station and laid off 3 firefighters because all the other firefighters kept demanding raise after raise after raise, more benefits, more time off, raise after raise, and they ended up losing a fire station. We lost a fire station over it. I now have to wait 3 minutes longer while shit's burning and while people are dying. So that's the issue with unions. Unions don't make things better. Just like teachers' unions don't make things better. Teachers' unions are not looking out for your child. Teachers' unions, in fact, will sacrifice the child just to get what they want for the teachers. Their entire purpose for survival is to get the teachers as much as they can, to suck that tit as dry as they can, and the students' education is not even part of it. That firefighter union does not care how good they put out fires. That fire department union does not care that there's enough fire stations or not. That firefighter union does not care if the care is consistent out there. All they care about is that they're getting paid more every year. They're getting 10% more a year. They're making huge money. It's ridiculous. Look, what the firefighter unions have done to the fire service is not nice. It's disgusting. I hate unions. I freaking hate unions. They can rot in hell. Unions don't actually help anybody, because what they end up doing is putting you out of work. Do you know what the steel and the car manufacturer unions did? They drove all the work overseas. They all went out of business. They all went on unemployment. They literally drove the work away. They drove the work away. And the only thing that's been done in the last 30 years to bring it back is Donald J. Trump. Yep, that's right. That's right, tariffs. Do you know why the unions are not even saying anything about being on the side of the Democrats anymore? You know, the AFL-CIO, the teachers union, the police union, the fire union, they all used to be on the side of the Democrats. Always, always, always. At this point, the AFL-CIO is not even endorsing Democrats, or anybody for that matter. Why? Because they're lost right now. The 2 biggest things that a union needs to do is tariff and stop illegal immigration. That's why Bill Clinton deported 13 billion people, 13 million people, I'm sorry. And that's why Barack Obama deported 10, 12 million people. That's why the Democrats used to deport at 3 or 4 times to 1 the rate that Republicans have over the last 50 years. Why? Because the Democrats are run by the unions, or they used to be. And the unions wanted all the gates closed, all the border fenced off, all the illegal workers gone, even the visa workers. They didn't want any of them. They wanted you to have to pay for high-priced union labor. So the last thing they wanted was illegal immigration. They wanted to stop illegal immigration. That's why that's all the Democrats did, was deport illegals. You know, Bill Clinton deported more illegals than Bush. The first Bush, first 1 term, and the second Bush's 2 terms. Bill Clinton still deported millions more than those 3 terms combined. It's ridiculous. And so the 2 things the unions want, remember, what's number 1? Tariffs. What's number 2? Border wall, border security, get rid of the illegals. Those are the 2 things the union wants. Who's doing it? Who's doing it? Donald J. Trump is doing it. That's who's doing it. Yep, tariffs, just like the union wanted. That's right. Because you know what? Some things the union might have had right along the way, and tariffs is one of them. Tariffs makes it more fair. Never makes it fair, but it makes it more fair. And closing the border and deporting the illegals, that's what the unions always wanted. That's why the union has stopped supporting anybody. Notice there was no big unions coming out for the Democrats. Unions don't like socialism. They don't like communism. Why? Because communists control the means of production and the means of delivery, which means there's no more unions. Think about it. The left is losing the unions at this point because the right is doing everything the unions have always wanted the left to do and couldn't get them to do it. Tariffs and border security. Man, what a day we live in, huh? And so now the AFL-CIO no longer endorsing, for the most part, or at all, anybody on the left or anybody on the right. They're getting out of the endorsement business. Why? They don't know what to do. 50% of their members are voting for Trump. Many of them probably can't bring themselves to do it, but he's the only guy that's ever done the things that the AFL-CIO really wanted a president to do. It's amazing. Blue Texan, that's an ignorant statement. That we need immigrants to do the jobs nobody wants to do. That's ignorant. Free markets fix that. If you understood free markets, you would know free markets fix that. There is no jobs Americans won't do. There's only jobs that Americans won't do for $6 an hour. Let's be honest with ourselves. All right? If they paid me $30 an hour, I'd go pick watermelons. All right, Donald, have a good night out there, man. Yeah, what's the biggest lie you ever told? Down here, from what I've seen, the marijuana thing, it splits party lines. We have just as many Republicans voting to legalize as we do Democrats down here in Florida. So that's one thing that doesn't sway elections, and it doesn't follow party lines. It splits across them. I'm sure there was still assholes in there that would give you a hard time. Let's see here. Yep, I like what's happened. what Ian? What do you use to generate your videos? OBS. I don't know what else there is. I mean, I use OBS to do my recordings for my videos. I use OBS to do all my live feeding, and then I use the YouTube app if I'm on an Android. But if I'm on my computer, any of my big computers, any of the three of them, I use OBS, and I got a couple of plugins I'm using. Yeah, well, what people don't realize is marijuana doesn't make you drive or dig ditches crooked. You may come back 2 hours later and they're all still sitting there talking about how they're going to do it. But once they get to work, it'll be quality work. Uh, um, no, in fact, as of last week, 2 weeks, no, as of about 8 or 9 days ago, they said marijuana has now surpassed alcohol. And marijuana, a while back, had surpassed cigarettes. There's more people right now that smoke weed on a daily basis than drink on a daily basis. And I think our country's much better off for it. Alcohol turns out to be a lot worse for your health, especially if you find healthy ways to intake THC. There's vaping, as long as you get a good product from a dispensary or something. There's ways to do it that's not as bad for you as ingesting smoke. But even that, I've had several family members that were drinkers, and that shit took them in the mid 60s. It's unforgiving on the body. And I'll tell you something else that's an absolute fact, and you can take this to the bank. If your kids are listening, tell them to cover their ears. Well, that's probably always good advice on this show. But anyway, you guys have heard of liquor dick? Yeah, it's an absolute fact. It's something you don't see a lot in mainstream media, but it's an absolute fact. Marijuana does not affect your ability to get hard. And I think that's something that most people have never heard. It's not something that's discussed. Alcohol, every day that you drink, it affects your priapism. It affects your ability to get hard. People have been smoking for 30, 40 years and they can still get rock solid. And most people that have been drinking for 10 or 15 years, even with blue pills, are not able to have normal sex. Yes, alcohol is horrific for the body. Now, that being said, a glass of wine or a beer a day, nothing wrong with that. Anything in moderation. Anything in moderation. You know? I mean, I'm not talking hard drugs, but I'm talking about anything in moderation. You can eat the absolute nastiest ice cream sundae you've ever ate, as long as you don't do it very often and you don't make it very big. That's all. It's moderation, you know. Same thing with weed. You can smoke as much as you want. But if you smoke too much, you are going to have some health problems with that as well. But it's just an interesting thing. If you know somebody that's drank their whole life, I guarantee their dick don't work. You can meet 65-year-old potheads that can still get rock hard. So I'm just putting that out there. All right, you can take your hands off your kids' ears now. Yeah, I don't take opioids. I don't like them. I don't take any kind of anything like that. I take Advil and Tylenol if it gets really bad. But it does work medicinally for pain. I will give you that. It works very well, especially for certain kinds of pain, chronic pain. It works well for. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Yeah. And I'll tell you what else, too. A lot of people just go for the THC. I will tell you that the CBD will give you just as much pain relief if you don't want the high. And if you mix the two, you can get a 50-50 blend of CBD THC. That works. I like that. That seems to be something that works. So, you could try that. If you're having a lot of pain and you're using it medicinally. Um, yeah, because indica's better because I mean, look, if it's going to make you all jumpy and wired up, then why take it? Um, Most people that smoke because they want to chill. They want to not be upset. They don't want to feel bad. Yeah, opioid. Oh, that's it. I could just look at a Percocet and I get constipated. I didn't even take it. Yeah, I don't take pills, dude. I don't take any kind of prescription meds. I don't take anything. When the doctor gives me a bunch of stuff, I take a few of them and I save the rest. I just don't like taking pills. I don't like taking pills. I'd rather throw them out in 10 years. And that's usually what I end up doing. Um, yeah. All right, so let's see. I got a couple of stories here we're going to do, and then I'm going to sign off. It's very hot here today. We had no rain here. It's about 80 degrees in my room right here now. It's starting to cool down. Once I sign off and I shut the computer down, it will cool down in here quicker. Um, yeah, that's the bad part with indica is a lot of times you just end up going somewhere and finding a nice little spot to go to sleep. um, yeah, my back was involved. Let me tell you guys. All right, I was involved in an explosive incident in '92, and my back is destroyed. I wear a back brace every day. I have two. I wear the lower one daily, and I wear the upper one as needed. And my back is trashed. I have all kinds of vascular injuries back there. I've got disc injuries back there. I've got issue here. I've got an issue in the thoracic where my bones don't line up right, and I've got a really bad sciatica. And the reason is because I was involved in an incident in '92 where I was blown away from a building and I landed in the yard and fell on my back from many feet away, and I was damaged, and I lied about it for 10 years to stay on the line. I literally lied. I went to the doctor and told him, no, everything's fine. Look, I can move. Everything's great. Yeah, whatever. It hurt like hell. But I didn't want to lose my job. When that injury happened to me, I had only been a truck lieutenant for just a few months. I was an officer. I was wearing gold brass. I wasn't going to give that up. I had my own truck, my own station. Man, I was 21 years old. And I'm running my own fire station, dude. How many people can say that? And nowadays it would take you you'd be 25, 26 before you could get into a job like that. I was there. I started when I was 18. 3 years later, I'm a lieutenant. I'm running my own station. So I ruined my back, and it's been ruined my whole life. And every job I get, I have to consider, can I do this job? It's one reason I got into radio. Not a lot of strenuous work in radio. You just move sliders up and down mostly. Type on the computer. Night, Moorhead. I'm getting ready to go off. I just wanted to read you guys a few things. The WNBA is still coming apart. You guys heard about yeah, Blue Texan, if you read the website you read, I'm sure that's what it said. I'm sure. Star Trek is not socialist at all. It's based on a free society. But of course, if you read the socialist website, which is, I'm sure, where you got that information, yeah, I'm sure you're going to think that. A lot of people that watch Star Trek believe that it's based on socialism because originally Gene Roddenberry based it on a society that didn't use money. But even within the first season, they mentioned Starfleet credits because there has to be a measure of labor. And so, yeah, it's not based on It's not based on socialism at all. It's just, it's based less on capitalism, maybe. But there's still, everybody there worked. They worked so that they could get the things, they could do the thing, they could get the money to. It still works just like our economy does today when you get right down to it. No, I couldn't disagree with you more. I could not disagree with you more. It is not a money-free utopia, first of all. It's not. Like I said, all the way back to season 1, they discuss credits, and those credits are known as the same thing money is. It's a measurement of labor. You know, the guy on K6 that ran the bar, that was his bar. He bought that bar. He runs the bar. He sells drinks at the bar, and he makes money. Okay, I mean, everything. Now, just because on the Starship, it's a military ship. So it's run more in an authoritarian manner. But the society around it was not socialist at all. It's not. Yeah, Ted, he's fine. He's fine. He of all the cats that have ever passed over, that he's fine. Trust me, he's got the best soul of any cat I've ever put to sleep, and that's saying a lot. So I'm not worried about him. Oh, I'm sure Gemini said that. Gemini is skewed so far left. The only thing skewed further left than Gemini is probably ChatGPT. ChatGPT is extremely far left. Even Grok can swing a little right or a little left. You got to watch it, but it's the only one that's swinging in the middle. Um, so yeah, if you can ask. You can ask all that kind of stuff to Gemini, and it's going to agree with you all day because it loves socialists. uh, yeah. All right. Yep. Randy, I could have probably qualified for and taken a paid retirement right from there when I was 21 years old. And it would have been a partial, it would have been a mess, and I never would have been able to work in a good job again. So I lied. I just did it. I just came in and told the doctor I was fine and went back to work. And I wore braces under my uniform. The guys all knew I wore them. Nobody gave a shit. I mean, it was the way it was. Everybody knew what had happened. Everybody knew that I was lying about it. I even think the chief knew. But it was my career. I wasn't gonna. I had just went to fire school, EMT school, inspector school, basic instructor school, and fire officer school, all in 3 years. And I got promoted, and they pinned gold bars on my collar. And then I get blown up in a fire? No, dude. I lied about it. I just ate the pain because I didn't want to give up my career. But now later on in life, I have nothing. I have no benefits. I have nothing. I don't even have health insurance right now. I self-treat. Yeah, those Memdami food stores, as time goes on here, we're learning more and more about them. What a freaking mess. You're only going to get up to 30% off on up to 10 items, and you're going to have to use your ID to prove that you're a New Yorker. And it's not every item is 30% off. It's only 10 items that are 30% off, and you're only allowed to get so many every week. It's going to be a freaking nightmare. And we're talking food lines. They're going to try to drive out all the regular grocers that are in the area. It's going to be terrible. And no, the replicators are nothing like that. The replicators are a new technology that just makes the food. Everybody has a replicator. You know. Yeah, health insurance. What a joke. I have a client that actually sells health insurance, and the best he can do for me is $400 or $500 a month, and that's for catastrophic care. So there's no way I could afford insurance. Nor would I spend that much. That's ridiculous to give $400, $500, $600, $700 a month. Just in case I get cancer. I mean, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, isn't it deplorable? Yeah, they can't ask for ID when you vote because that would be racist somehow. But they can certainly ask for ID if you want to get your discount at the Memdami grocery store, the Kami grocery store. Yeah, crazy, huh? Man, I hate when people do this with Star Trek. They'll come in and start this, Star Trek was socialist. This is something that socialists do. They'll take something that's good, that's nice, that's wholesome, and they shit all over it. And that's exactly what they're doing with Star Trek. Oh, it's socialist. No, it's not socialist. But it's the way people think about it. No, it has nothing to do with that. I have Obamacare to blame for my rates. Obamacare has caused an industry-wide rate hike that's gone on now for 10 years. It's Obamacare, actually, that's driven up the price of all health insurance. And what's funny is I can get private health insurance cheaper than I can get Obamacare. It's Obamacare that's ruined all this. And when people come in and say, oh, it's the GOP that's made your health insurance go up. Oh, my God, read a book. That's absolutely ridiculous. From the people, from someone on the left, the people that made Obamacare, which has made everybody's health care too expensive now. My God. What would the left have done for my insurance rates? Obamacare costs more than private insurance. So where's your logic here? What would the left of the left insurance cost more than the right insurance? What would I do? Explain that to me. Obamacare? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Let me tell you something. If you think that the Republicans are responsible for the high health care costs, you really, really need to somehow become more in tune with what's really going on and get out of the echo chamber. I know, that's what I said. Star Trek they still use it's still a free market. It's still a free market thing. They mention credits a lot. Like I said, Gene Roddenberry wanted it to be a what did you call it, a whatever, post suffrage type of situation. He originally was going to make a society without money, and he realized by the third or fourth episode that wasn't going to work and backed away from it, because anybody knows that that's not going to work, and that still would not be socialist. Yeah, Obamacare is what has drove the price up more than anything. There's a lot of other things that have drove the prices up too. The left and their overregulation over the years has drove the prices up. And politicians in general on both sides have not made good decisions. And so the price just keeps going up. I also believe that the healthcare industry has gotten really lazy. I don't know what that means exactly. Oh, all right, guys, let's see what we got here. What's next? All right, let me see what we got here. All right, well, I guess I could go ahead and tell you about this. This half hour of our show is brought to you by LibBlock. That's LibBlock, from the makers of Trumpanol, the #1 treatment for Trump derangement syndrome. That's right, Trumpanol. They make a medicine that actually helps fix crazy. That's right. When used regularly, Trumpanol can actually make you a patriot again, make you love your country, and make you a capitalist. And you know what's great about Trumpanol? All of their products don't actually exist, so it's really fun. Try this one, LibBlock. LibBlock, the #1 condom for use out there, because the last thing you want is little liberals running around with your last name. Try LibBlock today with specially formulated spermicide to kill all those liberal sperms before they get anywhere important. That's right, LibBlock. Get LibBlock today and make sure that you block any possibility of that lib being yours. That's right, LibBlock, from the makers of Trumpanol. All right, next up. Yep, the LGBTIAQ2S+, yeah, that's all going really well. The WNBA is coming apart. They're now saying that, this was probably the funniest thing here. We talked about this earlier on the other show. The men that are pretending to be women, they're cosplaying women so that they can play basketball and win. And the people that are doing that and supporting that are pissed off at these other basketball players that are now signing up for the WNBA draft. And they're saying that they're making a mockery. So in other words, the boys that are joining the girls' team, making a mockery of it, are accusing the men who are trying to join the same team for the same reasons, creating a mockery of it. Yeah, you can't make this shit up, dude. And now they're going to try to have to figure out who's really wanting to be, because here's the thing. Transgender doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. We need to have degrees of transgender. And here's the degrees that I propose. Trans-curious. Someone that's like, you know what? I think it'd be cool to be a woman. I think maybe one day I'll get my cock cut off. I'm thinking maybe, yeah. But not today. I'm just curious. I'm going to read some books. I'm going to hang out with some people, some confused people at college. And I'm curious about this whole lopadicophemy thing. And so that's trans curious. It's not transsexual. You haven't done a GD thing. All you've done is tell your best friend that you're thinking about maybe sometime doing something like this. That's trans curious. But in today's world, those people are transsexuals. No, they're not. Then you've got people who are pre-trans. Pre-trans are people who have decided, yes, I'm going through with it. I'm gonna have my cock cut off. I just haven't gotten the money yet, but I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm already dressing as a girl. I'm already acting like a girl. I'm trying to talk like a girl. I tuck my little penis in so you can't see it. And yeah, so I'm pre-trans because nothing's been cut off yet. I'm sick of people calling themselves trans when all they've effing done is thought about it. All right? Then you've got people who are actively transitioning. Actively transitioning. That's the third level. These are people who are taking estrogen or hormone treatments. These are people who have gotten things cut, split, open, broom handles shoved in, whatever. Anybody that's gotten any procedures done, those would be transsexuals. They are people who are in the process. Okay? And then a transsexual is the person at the end that has the messed up parts now. They've got everything all cut up and jammed up and it's all swollen and pussy. And now they've got to deal with it for the rest of their life. Now you're a trans person. Now, if we initiated this and said, look, if you want to join a woman's team, you have to get your cock and balls cut off. I mean, the twig and berries got to go on horticulture day. You know what I mean? If they said that, this would end the problem. Because these people aren't actually transsexual. What they are is they're opportunists. They're prick opportunists that are out there taking girls' opportunities away. And so that's what you end up with, is you end up with a situation like this where you've got people who are claiming to be transsexual. They are not transsexual. What they are is they're trans curious or they're pre-transsexual. But they are not transsexual, and we have to stop calling people transsexual unless they're actually in the transitioning process. And this is my opinion. I don't care what people think. Yeah, the WNBA has never made a penny. It's lost money the entire time it's been running. It's completely supported by cash from the NBA. And the girls are always trashing the NBA because they make so much more money. And it's like, you girls have never made any money. The money you make comes from the guys too. The whole thing is stupid. They're boys that can't make the cut. You're absolutely right, Randy. They're boys that can't make the cut. So what do? They cheat. They're not transsexual. They're trans curious. Or as I call it, you know, they are trans for a reason. They're trans to exploit somebody. As one of those NBA guys said, I'm trans when I play football or when I play basketball. I thought that was hilarious. These two men that are doing this are heroes in my book. They are drawing all of the negative ire that needs to be drawn to this whole transsexual mess. And I love it. These two NBA players that have signed up for the WNBA draft, what are they going to do? Are they going to take this other player from Europe? He's got biceps this freaking big. They're going to take him, but they're not going to take the two big, huge basketball players, right? Trans opportunist. Thank you, Deploribus. That's what I was looking for. Perfect. That's pretty cool, Incognita. Yeah, stuff like that was cool back then. I miss the old days at the firehouse back when we were volunteering many, many years ago. back when I was 18, 19. I started when I was 17 volunteering. Yeah, that's the thing, Kat. There hasn't been a single woman that claims to be transitioning to a guy so that they can play on a guy's football team. You know, I think it'd be really cool if maybe some little 100-pound women should show up at the Tampa Bay dress out for their first practice and see if we can get them in there. Hey, they identify as men. What are we going to do? That's just how stupid this whole thing is. And when the left gets played like this, the left gets continuously played like this. This is them getting played. I'm telling you. It's so ridiculous. All this turmoil, all this controversy, everything from congressional hearings to lawsuits to women getting hurt, getting smashed in the face by volleyballs, getting raped during a wrestling match. Look, there's been so much of this nasty shit going on. These guys walking around with their twig and berries out in the girls' locker room. It's bullshit. We have to stop this. We've got to stop this.
Of MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+.
Or as I call them now, the Alphabet Gang. That guy that wrestler, or what was he, the Ultimate Fighter guy at the White House, he said if he won, he was going to say Michelle Obama's a man. And he did. He got that mic and he's like, Michelle Obama's a man. He did it. I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I mean, the left shouldn't have a problem with that, right? That's funny. She got a huge snake in her pants. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't understand the whole thing, to be honest with you. It's the whole thing's because here's the thing, okay? There's more muscle car enthusiasts than there are transsexuals. I mean, if you start looking at the small, I mean, we're talking about literally 0.1 of people that actually begin to transition. We're talking less than 0.03% or something. It's some crazy number. So why are we spending all this time dealing with some strange topic like this? Yeah. Also, Kevin, if you want to join an angry poet and whoever else is in there, if you want to join us, please come to the link that's in the pinned comment. You're on the upright stream, and we are chatting over on the landscape screen, because on my show, that's what most people watch on, is the landscape. We're working on getting it all integrated into one chat room, but we don't have it figured out quite yet. Well, there can't be a lawsuit. I don't, you know, slander and libel and all that bullshit is really, it's, yeah. When it comes to politicians, even post-politicians, even the wife of post-politicians, there's not really much you're going to be able to do. She would have to prove somehow that there was damages because he said that. She won't be able to do that. Because everybody that thought she was a man still thinks that she is a man, and everybody that thinks she's a woman still thinks that she's a woman, and that is actually the basis for the lawsuit, is what was lost and how many people changed their mind about something. So there you go. That was exactly, Incognita, you're exactly right. That's exactly why Obamacare was brought in. It was a system designed to fail. And when it failed, it was supposed to usher in a new age of socialized medicine. You are absolutely correct. And this is what lefties do. They come in, they troll a little bit, and then they leave. They don't hang around because the truth stings. Incognita, I used AI. I used Google AI Studio. And I went in and I made my own image generator. If you're really into it, send me an email and I'll send you I can send you the prompt for you to put in to make your own image generator like mine. But yeah, I use an image generator. And that's, yeah. It's all AI. And I love AI. Oh my God, I love AI. It's so cool. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Maybe I can hit this. That helps. I'm still beside myself over this OBS. This new OBS is terrible. Nothing seems quite as convenient as it was before. Oh, let's see here. All right. This half hour of our show, guys, I always like to bring it up. This half hour of our show is brought to you by Trump Zempic. Trump Zempic, from the makers of Trump and all, because there's no reason you should be fat and liberal at the same time. So get some Trump Zempic today. Take care of both things with one shot. That's right, just one jab in the leg, and next thing you know, you'll be losing weight and becoming sane. Try it today and quit being a crazy bitch. Trump Zempic by Trump and all, the makers of Trump and all, the #1 treatment for Trump derangement syndrome. Get some today. That's Trump Zempic. The High Guy. I made my opening video and my closing videos and all that. I make with two different things. I use the Google AI Studio, and I created myself a video maker. And again, if you send me an email with a request for that, I will send you the prompt that you can put in and make your very own. It'll work exactly like mine. And then I took off the restrictions. I pay for it. The openers that I did, the opener and that promo that I did, and the closer, all that video cost me about $100 to make. But a lot of it was wasted because it didn't come out right or whatever. But yeah, and all those cats, all those pictures, 100% of it's AI. There's not a single real thing in there. That's what makes AI so cool. I'm not claiming that it's real. Everybody knows it's AI. I don't really care. But it's one of those things where I think it's cool that that I have an actual opener. You know, most shows on YouTube don't even have an opener. So I wanted to have that. So what I did was I went in and I made all those different clips. Show me a clip, and I would upload the picture of the van. I have a front shot, a 45 shot, and a side shot of the van. I would upload those so the computer knows exactly what the van looks like. Then I would. And by the way, the first 4 or 5 I made, I didn't do that, and you can see which one's in the video. The van doesn't look right. But I'm going to redo those before long, probably another couple months. I'll redo those, and I'll put some all new clips in there. But if you send me an email, ko4efs@gmail.com, that's ko4efs@gmail.com. There, is that right? Yeah, there it is. And just send it and say, hey, I listened to the show and I want to get that prompt to make those different things. And I'll send them to you. I don't mind doing it. It's real easy. And then all you do is go to Google AI Studio and you paste in the prompt that I send you. and it makes you your own program that then you can tweak and make it perfect for you. Yeah, the closer, I've got a lot of positive comments on the closer because it is it's like the old days where it's like the sign off and the transmitter shuts down and everything. I'm very nostalgic and I like that. Yeah, that Southern Poverty Law Center is it's bad. It's corrupt. It's as corrupt as it gets, pretty much. It does. You don't get much more corrupt than that. It was basically just a way to funnel money to certain groups of people. That's really all it was. All right, a couple of other items in the news tonight. Kroger has just announced they're closing at least 36 more stores since announcing plans last year to shutter 60 stores that were not delivering sustainable results. The Cincinnati-based grocery giant did not release a full list of the stores or banners slated for closure, but online searches listed 39 locations across nine different states as no longer operating. The local report also confirmed that many of the locations were part of the broader store overhaul. As of January 2026, Kroger operated 2,600 stores across 35 states. So they're continuing a slow downsizing of Kroger. We used to have Kroger down here. They have pulled all out of down here a while back. Most of these, let's see, West Virginia, Virginia, Texas, lots of them in Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Kentucky, a couple in Indiana, and 4 in Georgia, 1 in Illinois. You see Atlanta, Brookhaven, Decatur, Alpharetta. I know where all those places are. Lots of them. 3 in Houston, Texas alone. So they're also closing Harris Teeter, Fry's Food and Drug, and Fried Meyer. Those are all names they own as well. They're going to be closing some of those as well. It looks to me like they've just outlived the business model. Kroger is right up there with Winn-Dixie and Piggly Wiggly and others that slowly over the years went from a really great grocery store to a second-rate grocery store, and then now they're slowly going out of business. And I think Kroger, like Food Lion and so many others, they've got on the wrong side of history, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I used to love Winn-Dixie. We had Winn-Dixies down here. It was a big deal. And what most people don't remember, and please let me know in the chat room if you remember this, but do you know where the check mark in Winn-Dixie comes from? They bought out a large supermarket chain called Quick Check. And Quick Check was a big check mark. And do you know what Quick Check, do you know what their claim to fame was? They had the quickest checkout ladies in town. And they were Quick Check with the quickest checkout ladies in town. And you'd pull in there and they go pop, 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 pop. And every time they touched one of your groceries, they were putting the price in. These chicks knew the prices. They had them memorized. I mean, they were fast. And I can remember, as far back as I can remember, right when those two stores were coming together. And they were actually called Winn-Dixie Quick Check for a while. And then they dropped the Quick Check. But they kept the yellow check mark. And to this day, the ones that are still open have that red or yellow check mark. Yep, that is true, Randy. That is true. It's a shame that marijuana's gotten such a bad name over the years. It really is, because medicinally it actually does work. And it's just a shame that it's gotten such a negative. Yep. All right. So I'm just looking to see if there's anything going on in the other chat room there. Yeah, there you go. A checkmark segment. I don't know if anybody even remembers that far back. And you had to be in a certain part of the country, too. Why is my TV not coming on? Oh, that's not cool. Oh, well, something else I gotta fix. Yep, it's literally the healing herb, and people, because they're scared of it. And do you know who has fought all these years to keep marijuana illegal? The number one group that has fought to keep it illegal. Does anybody know? Anybody? Anybody? The alcohol industry. They have spent billions lobbying to keep marijuana illegal. Yes, the marijuana industry. Just like the horse breeding industry came out and tried to block the automobile. It's ridiculous. So in other words, it doesn't matter what works best for you. It doesn't matter that pot's safer than alcohol. It doesn't matter that that you have DUI deaths every single day, but we don't have pot deaths at all, really, on the roads, you know. If you look at PUIs versus DUIs, it's 300 to 1, 200 to 1. But yet alcohol's the one that's legal, and weed is just now becoming legal. The alcohol industry did this way back. They determined a long time ago that if marijuana was legal, people would stop drinking because marijuana is better. It chills you out. It makes you feel better. You don't want to fight. You don't get in trouble. You don't go sit in a bar and spend all your money. And so for all these years, you've been fed a bill of goods about marijuana. Oh, it's terrible. Oh my God, it'll kill you 100 times over. Oh my God, it'll make your dead body die. I mean, it's bad. And the truth is alcohol's a lot worse on your body. It's crazy. Yeah, and there's people that have been in prison for 10 years because they had this plant in their trunk. Yep, a plant that medicinally helps people. It's ridiculous. And cops don't care because it's their golden goose. They smell marijuana everywhere. They walk into their grandmother's house on Christmas break and they smell marijuana. Cops smell marijuana everywhere. Yep. It sucks, actually, that people spend time in jail over something like that. And yet, these liberals are letting murderers out. Joe Biden commuted sentences and gave pardons to thousands of people that committed horrible felony crimes. Yet, people that had some weed are still in jail. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Yeah, Kamala used to brag about how many people she put in prison for smoking weed. And then the Democrats became all 10-4 on the weed. Next thing you know, she's on, what was that, Charlemagne or who? One of the shows. She's on one of those shows and she's like, yeah, I smoke weed. I like weed. I can't really do her cackling like I need to, but here, let's try this. I tried it. It was good. Matter of fact, I'm doing it right now. That's right.
That he is entitled to his opinion.
She's a nut. My God, they're going to put her up to run for president. I hope they do. Please run for president.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. That's right. We got to run this bitch because she's the best. Yeah. You think their party's going downhill now? Wait till they elect her. I mean, come on. Seriously. It's going to be awesome. It takes them a minute to go down. They're finding that cannabis works for so many different things right now. Everything from giving you an appetite to reducing your seizures. Yes, absolutely. It's amazing. We've had this wonder drug all these years and we weren't allowed to use it. It's a wonder drug mentally. It's a wonder drug physically. It's a wonder drug emotionally. And they won't let you use it because they're afraid of it, because the alcohol industry has convinced us all that it's evil and that we're all going to hell. And I put some of the blame on the churches, and I'm not just going to say Christians, all the churches, even the Muslim churches, smoking weed, drinking, that's something they cut off your head. You know, being gay, anything like that, they cut off your head. Just ask the queers for Hamas. Yeah, a lot of people say mushrooms have medicinal value. I won't eat spore-producing fungi in any way. I think it's disgusting, but that's cool if it works for you. Yeah, it helps Parkinson's. You can literally watch a man sitting there with his hands shaking, and he smokes, and his hands quit shaking. It's like, what are we doing? These old people think that this is the devil's cabbage, and they won't touch it. And it's actually a good thing. Look, there's some people out there, you'll see right now, you can find studies that show that cancer goes up in people that smoke. And you can also find studies that show that cancer goes down when people smoke. Some people believe that that cannabis does help you become resistant to cancers. Others don't believe that, so I'm just putting it out there as an unknown. AI is going to fix this cancer thing pretty quick, I think. All right, guys, I'm done. It's midnight. I've been on for... I gave you guys an extra hour and a half because I couldn't get on at the beginning. So there you go. It's been a long night. We've watched them build a whole new mountain out here in Hawaii. Holy crap. That's a lot coming out right now. That's crazy talk. We're starting to lose our feeds. Yeah, basically your whole brain's a CBD receptor. Yep, all right. Let's see, anything else, guys? Last call for the chat room. The devil's lettuce. I call it devil's lettuce, devil's cabbage. There's like about 5 different ones. Devil's carrots. Yeah, I mean, the CBD will do everything that the pot will do without getting you high. I happen to like both benefits, but you can, you know, the CBD works. I use CBD a lot. If I got to drive or something, or I got to, you know, yeah, it works great. Oh, it's so hot in here. It's midnight and it's still 80 degrees in here. I'm going to get this computer shut off. Yeah, there's a lot of studies starting to show that there is anti-carcinogenic, cannabis has anti-carcinogenic properties, yes. The Lords of Lettuce. All right, everybody, I'm going to call it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Sorry it got so messed up at the beginning. I don't even know what happened yet. I was trying something new, and apparently it was not right. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys later. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to sign off. And I'll see you guys tonight. We'll be back on, well, in 3 minutes it'll be tonight. We're coming up on midnight, guys, 9 p.m. on the left coast. I do appreciate everybody that's been here. These shows are a lot of fun because you guys are here. And yep, so I hope everybody had a good show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good night out there and a safe tomorrow. My name is Ian. This is Starship Adventures, right here broadcasting on YouTube worldwide, the sights and sounds of Earth, and we're on every night at 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on Starship Adventures. Good night, everybody. Good night, Daddy Kitty. Have a great night, everybody. This is the YouTube channel Starship Adventures, broadcasting live from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. Starship Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is Starship Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra, signing off. QSY, 7-3s, everyone, 7-3s.